Is Tholin a Hydra Slayer, or he's a little bit overhyped? Let's find out today. Hello, I'm Sola, and today we'll showcase the build and guide on the Tholin the Foulbeard. So the fusion has been completed and the Hydra reset is on, so it means we can test him. We will test him today on Arena, on Hydra, and just general damage test to see how he actually comparing to other champions. So first of all, let's check his skills. His force, affinity, attack damage legendary. So his A1 attacks all enemies before attacking, has 25% chance of placing a weaken debuff for 2 turns. Has a 50% chance of placing 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns if the target is from the Corrupted Alliance, a boss or a minion. Actually, he has a lot of this Corrupted Alliance, boss or minion in his skills. It's like the player forcing us to use him against this type of content. So yeah, grants an extra turn if weakened debuff was placed on all enemies by this skill. So in general, it's 25, 35, 40, 50%, and 75% against the boss and the Corrupted Alliance to apply the weaken on all the enemies. So attack all enemies and also applying the useful debuff. So it's sounds good for Hydra at least. For the Arena, not so good, because like weaken can trigger the ship. So A2 attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit will ignore 25% of the target defense. If the target is from the Corrupted Alliance, a boss minion, hit ignores 50% of the target defense instead. Each hit decreases the target attack by 5%, stacks by 25%. Each hit also increases the champion attack by 5%, stacks to 50%. So ignore defense is always nice. We have additional ignore defense against the Corrupted Alliance and the bosses. And what is also very nice is his ability to ramp himself. So he is like ramping his attack till 50%, which is really good for the longer fights, such as Hydra. We have a good example of the ramping champions is Varel. So he's also, yeah, increase the champion attack by 10% each time they use an active skill. But Varel has a 100% ramp, and this guy unfortunately has only 50%. But he's taking back the attack. But so taking back attack is not that good in a arena, because attack damage champions you just kill. You don't need to stall the fight. It's like a good for Harimo, for example, which steals the defense, because you steal defense from the tanky teams, make them less tanky. But here, like stealing attack will not help you to survive. It's if it's like a glass cannon type of the champion. But anyway, ramping up 50% is good for the longer fights, for the Hydra, and ignore defense is also really good. So attacks all enemies 2 times before attacking, places 50% increase attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. For each critical hit landed, on the first hit, increase the damage dealt by the second hit by 10%. Will ignore unkillable and shield buffs. So first of all, he has increased attack, so he buffs himself. It's really good. He don't need additional activator who will buff him. It's nice. And also we can get a ramp of the second hit if the first one was critical. So it should be critical if you will build him with a 100% crit rate. Yeah, of course the weak hit can happen, but in general case scenario it will be with increased damage. And also ignore unkillable and shield buffs. So shield is not that popular on arena right now. Maybe only molten shields from the mythic relic, and unkillable is everywhere. So activize Doom Demon Breaker. It's A2, A3, yeah, no, A1. This is A1. So activates his A1 every 5th turn this champion takes. enemies from the Corrupted Alliance, bosses and minions cannot land a critical hit on this champion. So I wonder, does it work on the ally attack? So same as passive of the Thor, which stacks. Let's check actually how it's written for the Thor. Every time this champion deals damage, every time this not taking turn but deals damage. So maybe this counter is not working with ally attack for the Tholin. Yeah. So he do A1, enemies from the capital boss and minions cannot land the critical hits on this champion. Okay, so bosses cannot crit hit. They have like a 50% of crit chance usually, so you're protected from that. So what we have in his kit? So like increase attack, ignore defense, plus ability to stack attack for him, and also we apply the weaken and attack all enemies with our A1, and also we have a proc of our A1. So I think he's pretty solid for the Hydra. I don't know how good is he for the arena, because he doesn't have any survivability at all. So he's like a glass cannon, and glass cannons are not that good in the current meta. So, but what is really important is how hard does he hit. So let's check this. But before we will check, let me actually show you the gear and build I will use for that. But before we proceed to the gear, if you like this kind of guides, so please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Let's grow our community together. 500 subs is grows near, so let's do it. So let's move on actually to the gear. I will move my Wukong gear on him. So my Wukong is built in a 6-piece merciless. So I think it's a good idea to have this built on him, because like a chance of the cooldown reset of the skills and ignore defense and yeah, all this stuff. Okay, so we have him built right now. Yeah, it's a 6. Actually, it's in this case it's a 7-piece merciless. But I think if you can build 9-piece merciless, it will be even better, because extra crit damage and chance of dealing extra turn. So all these turns shenanigans and extra turns will work with his passive, which he's taking A1. And also, if he can apply weaken on everyone, he can get extra turn again. So yeah, all these extra turns should ramp up his damage. So I built him like this, six pieces. So if we talk about the ascensions, they're quite standard. So since we are attack damage dealer, we have attack everywhere, and of course crit damage on our gloves for additional damage, attack percent on our chest plate, and speed plus speed boots on our boots, because we want to have enough speed. For the ring, it will be attack plus attack. Yeah, crit damage. We should roll to the crit damage for the amulet, and for the banner, attack plus attack again. Or if you need some accuracy, you can roll in accuracy. Let's check our final stats. Let's check the Hydra. So it will be like this. So 100. Actually, also it will be a little bit more crit damage when we will apply on him the relic. It will be around 300. So yeah, some accuracy, 7,000 attack, and yeah, around 40,000 defense. So and yeah, 250 plus speed, but you can build as much as you can. So this is like a common stats for the damage dealers, for example, for the Ultra Nightmare. Let me check my Thor, which I using for the Ultra Nightmare, his stats. So for the Hydra, maybe they're a little bit better. Let me check. I will compare his damage with the Thor. So yeah, a little bit 320, a little bit more attack, but pretty much the same. Yeah, even less accuracy. And he's also in a 6-piece merciless. So we will compare the Hydra damage with the Thor. He has a little bit more stars, that's why he has a higher crit damage. If we talk about the relic, of course, the best one would be like the cat's gaze because of crit damage and attack. If we're talking about like one level below or even 2 levels, we can always use the malefic talon. So let me show someone. Yeah, for example, this guy. So Embrace with malefic talon. Let's actually, yeah, unequip. Let's move it on the Tholin. So we have a gemstone for additional damage for each 100% accuracy. In our case, it will be like we're talking about the Hydra battles. Yeah, 2.5% additional damage. Additional relics which you can use. Also, this is one is good for the PvP and cut gates. For the PvE, the best one is Cornet because it's also stacks up your damage over time for each debuff, and we're placing a lot of the debuffs with our A1, so it should be stacked up pretty quickly. If we talk about the blessings, so for the Hydra, of course, it's Nature Wrath because we placing the debuff and our damage ramping up. It's pretty same as the crown works. If you want to use him for the PvP, then you should build him a little bit different. You should build like a little plus stone skin and use, instead of this one, use lightning cage or soul rip as main options for the damage dealers so far. If we talk about the masteries, so they are quite standard PvP masteries. So with accuracy, we support 3. So offense, we take crit rate, crit damage to the shields, more damage for low HP targets. Like I'm taking life drinking because we will use him for the Hydra, but if you will not, then you can use Ruthless Ambush instead. So yeah, bring it down, standard option, methodical, and of course Helm Smasher as a additional ignore defense. And here we take in additional accuracy from these 3, additional stats from the Lord of Steel, additional chance of applying our weaken from A1, and additional chance to extend our weaken, so from the A1. This was the Masteries. So let's talk about his pros and cons. So for the pros, I would name that he has a damage ramping mechanic. It's really good for the extended fights. He can buff himself with attack. Is always good because you don't need to think about adding someone, for example, for arena, who will buff attack for him. And he has some utility with his weaken, so he can be used for Hydra, for example. His cons, he doesn't have any passive which will help him to survive, unfortunately. Same as like Wukong, for example, or Taras, or Nais, or some good nukers out there on the arena. So that makes him limited in use. But let's see actually his damage. So let's try damage test first. By the way, while are we looking for the damage test, guys, have you completed the Tholin fusion, and are you going to use him somewhere on your account or not? Please share in the comments. So let's check them. The dragon, normal one, not the hard. For example, if we are going to use, I want to compare him with the Thor, for example. So let's use stage 24. No, 23 better. Yeah. So no one will weak hit here. Let's take someone for the attack, so we can use any of his skills right away. And also we need to apply decrease defense and weaken. And yep. So let's check the damage. So yeah, we increase attack, apply decrease defense and weaken. So let's use A1 first. So it's from 92 till 120. Let's try it with the Thor instead. So yeah, increase defense and weaken. So for example, let's try this girl. So it's similar actually, a little bit higher, but 100,000, but only in one target. Here it's in all targets for the Tholin. So this one is, I think the Tholin has a slight edge over the, and even like the Thor is built a little bit better, slightly. So, and they pair on the damage. So let's actually, yeah, let's try other skill. He's A2. So for example, yeah, it corrupted alliance, so we will do more damage to these guys. So it's 180, 172 from his A1, A2, sorry. And let's also try the A3. So it's from 100 to 165. Okay, on his A3. So let's check for the Thor. So let's check for the Thor A2. The damage is much higher. So for the Tholin it was 150, 180 twice in one target, and here it's like from 300 till like 500 for the last target. And let's also check his A3 for the Thor. How much does we? And yeah, and his A3 is higher than Tholin. But let's see. Anyway, so he's on the level with the Thor, but a little bit less damage as far as I can see. And yeah, even the Thor built a little bit better, but the difference, if we build better the Tholin and get some stars, the difference will not be that dramatic. So it will be pretty much the same. So let's actually try to hit some fights. So we need some team which we can use him. So let's take the Arbais for increased attack. So we can use any skill. Let's use the Fabian. And where is the Tholin? Yeah. So speed in all battles. So let's check. How does he perform on the arena? So we can, the problem with him, unfortunately, that he doesn't do anything with the stone skin. So you need some way to remove the stone skin. For example, Fabian or Embris or like Odin, or burn it with Gizmak, or yeah, some other ways to deal with the stone skin. So yeah, as we can see, like we almost completely removed the stone skin. So let's try to use our A3. It's okay. We even, yeah, we hit it with our Morto. So let's sleep this dude. Let's see how much damage we can do for the Freya with his A2. 30 plus 70. Not that impressive, actually. It wouldn't kill any like more tanky champion like Marichka, for example. And let's try to use his A1. So 58,000. His damage is not on the level of the top damage dealers, unfortunately, for the arena. Can we, yeah, reset them? Okay, we got our attack removed, so we will start with A3. Yeah. Okay, let's sleep. You. So let's use our A2 again. 70,000. So let's actually find someone from the Corrupted Alliance. Not on this page. Like Lily 2 maybe. Yeah, this one. But unfortunately, he can weak hit. Let's see. They're faster than us. But it's okay. And they have shields, which we ignore. That's nice. We ignore shields with A3, yes? Unkillable and shields. So yeah. Let's see how much damage we can do. Yeah, that's what I meant. That's the damage is not enough against the tanky teams, unfortunately. So even his ignore to shields will not help him. So he's not performing that well on the arena as a single damage dealer, and he doesn't have enough utility to be considered as a support damage dealer. So let's sleep you. I don't know if we can win this fight. So let's hit the Sifi. Okay, 70,000. Let's turn his. Okay, so what can we do? We can A1. It's not enough for the nice. Can we sleep maybe Lily too? So, what should we do? What should we do? Maybe we should buff ourselves and try to kill. Let's try. Yeah, from his A3, the damage is really weak. A2 is like worth a while, but A3, yeah, is really weak. So let's try to control the Nais. Yeah, this is like how it looks like when he's taking the turn. So he does A1 and then he does the move. So this is pretty fun. So let's kill the Nais if we can. As you can see, he's not that strong on the arena. He cannot compete with the top dogs out there like Nais. So let's actually compare the damage for the Hydra for him. So I will use him in my normal team. Yeah, this one, which has ally attack and yeah. So let's first of all run it with the Thor for like 100 turns, and then let's see how much damage he will do, and then we will compare for the Tholin. So we will not stay here for all the 100 turns. We just skip to the result. So we are close to 100 turns, and it took us almost 20 minutes. We did 360 million damage. So let's wait till the 100 turns and see how much damage actually the Thor did. And then we will start the Tholin run and compare. Final, yep. Let's end the battle here. So the damage is, so simply the Thor did 100 million damage for the 100 turns and took us 20 minutes. So quite simple to remember. So 1 million damage per minute. Yeah, let's try to use now the Tholin in the same setup and see how much damage actually he can do for the same amount of turns. And the last one was done completely on auto and without any interference from my side. So let's see if we will be able to also do it on auto this time. So he does like a 200 plus 200 on his A2, which is decent, I think. So let's actually see his other moves. It was the A3, I believe. We got the reset on him. Another A2. 340 this time on the second. So not a millions, unfortunately, as some other damage dealers can do on Hydra from the single skill, like Harima or Varl, for example. This was his A3, 60 plus 90k for each head. Not that impressive. A1, 120, or let's check again. Yeah, 150, 100,000, 150, yeah. For the A1 skill. $500,000 for bare neck. This is a pretty solid, I would say, already. $200 plus 300,000. So again, 500,000 for the bare neck with his A3. Interesting to see his A2 on the bare neck. 600 from A1. No, I mean, he can do some damage. So yeah, let's actually wait till the 100 turns and see how much the damage would be. Okay, now we are close to the 100 turns with the Tholin, and we can see that the damage is lower. Last time it was 300,660 millions, and yeah, let me stop the battle. This time is 300 million and 13. So Tholin did 80 millions and the Thor did 100 millions. So I would say he is decent. So if you don't have Thor, you can use the Tholin, and with more stars and like 4 stars as I have for the Thor, and yeah, I think the difference will be even lesser than that. So He's pretty much the same as a Thor, maybe a little bit lower, and actually you can use him in the same conditions as a Thor because he can buff himself, and so Thor applies decreased speed, and he applies the weaken, so you can tweak him and put him in your Hydra team, and he's pretty decent. I don't know if I will use him. Maybe I will check on my on Nightmare. I don't need him, so maybe I will check my brutal Hydra and place him there, or maybe on my hard team. So yeah, he's a pretty good champion. As we can see for the arena, he's not that good, and for the Hydra is pretty decent. And even for the late game account as me, he can find some use. Um, Other places where you can use him, faction wars, of course, like and the Sindrana city and the dungeons. I don't see any big use him on some of the bosses because you just need max HP damage dealer there to kill the bosses. So yeah, this was it, guys. Thank you for watching. See you in another video. Solo is out.